learn and to do your best. As an ex-athlete and coach at the school, I feel that athletics and fine arts are also very important. I have always said that they are an extension of the classroom, and many life lessons can be learned from these. Thank you.
Beginning with Mrs. Gross, at this time, do you have any children in school attending here at Blackduck? And if you do not have any children, could you please tell us about where they do attend? Jenna, you'll start first, and then Mr. Mistic.
So yes, I have 2 children. I have a 3rd grader who is 8, Madison, and a 5th grader who is 10, Elizabeth.
Yes, I have a 10th grader, Aiden. My 3 previous children graduated from Blackduck.
Mr. Carey?
Yeah, I also have 3 children in the district. My oldest, Autumn, is in 10th grade. She's in speech, drama right now, track manager, everything she can be in. Then my middle, Stella, is in 6th grade, and my youngest, Jackson, is in 1st grade.
Thank you. Beginning with Mr. Mistic. What qualities, behaviors should school board members exhibit?
Well, I think we set an example for the whole school. Behavior is very important. We've said it, we're role models. Obviously, chain of command is a thing that I firmly believe in, so that, you know, we follow that rule. We don't get too tied up into stories that we hear or don't hear, or this and that, because there's always one more to the story than what we do here. So I've definitely found that out. But we are a role model. We should be proud of our school and just be proud of it and show respect, show kindness.
Mr. Carey?
The question was role of the school board member?
What qualities,
What qualities?
behaviors should school board members exhibit?
Yeah, I think, again, the ability to listen to multiple perspectives, not get too wrapped up in favoring one of them, and making decisions based on what you think is best for everyone and for the school, just in general, instead of any, again, favorites you might play or biases you might have. Make sure you stay kind of neutral in that way.
Mrs. Gross?
I think it's really important to be approachable and listen to the community, that we play an important part of hearing what the community has to say and then taking that and resolving concerns. Staying calm and being professional with certain situations, like what these 2 have already said. Being a leader, I think that's important, to step up and, you know, sometimes have to make difficult decisions. Critically think, be able to hear all sides to a story, and take that and do what's best for everybody that's involved in the situation. Another quality I think is, you know, being involved in the school. I think it's, if we're involved, we're better informed to make informed decisions.
Thank you. Beginning with Mr. Carey. What are the current challenges facing education school boards today?
Whew. Well, I don't know. Grant would be a good one to start on this one. My perspective was from the classroom, and in 20 years, it was not the same career at the end as when it started. To identify those challenges would be, I don't think I have enough time for all of that. I think it's just everyone will acknowledge the changing nature of society, and the difficulty that it puts the school under, the administration under. So in the classroom, coaches all feel that change, and again, without being too specific, it's just, it's not for anyone who wants to say like, oh, this is how we used to do it. Obviously, it's not that way anymore. And adapting to that difference is a big challenge.
Mrs. Gross?
So from my perspective of having students in the school, I would say one of the bigger challenges would be staffing. I think that's society as a whole struggles to staff. That's going to be a challenge moving forward, I believe, as well. So trying to come up with, ways to recruit and retain staff will be something that school boards and schools will face. Another challenge, I think, like Mr. Carey was saying, that it has been changing would be that, education and providing that to a classroom for teachers. I think that in a grade level or a classroom that teachers are having to teach a wide variety of like skill and knowledge, and that's difficult to teach to multiple different levels. So trying to come up with ways to help the teachers, strategies so that all kids are getting the education that they need.
Yeah, I agree with both Jesse and Jenna on that. I think staffing is a big issue, especially moving forward, from teachers to administrators to bus drivers. Bus driving is becoming a very critical thing. It's almost scary to a point where, what do we do some days? So I know it's day to day, and we struggle with that. I also know with society and the classroom, I sat in on a classroom last year, and it can be chaotic. It's tough. It's really tough for the teachers, and a lot of different needs for a lot of different kids, different qualities, different perspectives of those kids, and different ways to handle them. But I was amazed at how different it is than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and so on. So it's a struggle, and finding staffing, whether it be paras or whatever, subs, it's becoming very difficult. So that is a concern of mine.
Thank you. Beginning with Mrs. Gross, let's agree that we all want our school to succeed in educating the children in the district. What does our successful district look like to you in the next 3 to 5 years?
One would be that we are appropriately staffed, kind of coming off the last conversation, making sure that we have licensed teachers and paras to be able to provide the education for all students, high graduation rates. I think that our school has been known for that for a long time, so continuing to keep that in the next 3 to 5 years. Small class sizes, Blackduck, looking from like Bemidji to Blackduck, I think that's a very big positive for smaller class sizes, that kids are getting better education and more one-on-one. And also financially sound district.
Mr. Mistic?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Absolutely. Let's agree that we all want our school to succeed in educating the children in the district. What does our successful district look like to you in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, enrollment is a big thing. Our enrollment has gone up, or it's at least stayed the same for the last few years, so that's important. Staffing, as we talked about earlier, at the current time, I'm very proud of our budget, that we're doing well there, and we don't want to let it go the other way, because like I said earlier, I'd been there before, and it's not a fun time. We have a wide diversity of students here, and it's tough to fill all those needs. It really is, but different things. Students excel in different areas, whether it be FFA. There's students that need those types of things. We need to keep. I'm very proud that we were able to have our foods class start opening up, our building trades, those types of jobs and careers are needed out there, and some of our students need those things and want those things, and that's the reason why there's some of them here. So we need to be diverse. We need to be open-minded, and we need to have the curriculum that serves all the students.
Thank you. Mr. Carey, would you like the question repeated as well, or not?
Still there? No, I think I'm fine. What the school look like? I agree with everything said so far in terms of staffing, budget, all of that. And I like where Grant was going on the road to opportunities for the diverse student population that we have. I think when I think about what Blackduck would be in a couple of years, what I hear from other people in other districts when I tell them that I taught here or my wife talks about our kids going here is that apparently we do have a good reputation in other communities as an academic school, and I'd like to maintain that and make sure that that continues and maybe even goes up. And then, yeah, just make sure that the reasons why people would say something like that are maintained and even enhanced. So class sizes, opportunities for kids to be in whatever programs they want to be in, all of those things help make the vision of what the school is a positive one, because public support means a lot in the end, I think, for the school and for our enrollment, like Grant was saying. So, yeah.
Thank you. Beginning with Mr. Mistic. As a member of the school board, what do you see your role being in relation to A, the community, B, the administration, C, the collective bargaining units that work at the school? I'll repeat. As a member of the school board, what do you see your role being in relation to the community, the administration, the collective bargaining units that work at the school?
As the community, to be respectful, be open-minded, be able to listen to all the concerns, be visible. I think it was mentioned earlier to partake in events and whatnot here at the school is very important. As far as the administration, you don't want to micromanage, in my opinion. You hope to be able to hire good people, put them in good spots, and hope that they're successful. I think that as a board, we're kind of like a checks and balances type situation where we don't try to get too involved at all in the day-to-day operations of what is happening here at Blackduck. We try to let our administrators handle those, a lot of those tough decisions. And the third one was?
Collective bargaining units that work at the school.
Oh, I'm all for that. I think that, like I said, teaching and para and all that stuff is very tough these days. It's a totally different world in the classroom, totally different world in the whole school than it used to be. And I think it's a good thing. I think the teachers, you know, you hear things, well, teachers only have work 9 months a year. Well, become a teacher then, because to me it's gotten to be a very tough job. So teachers deserve a lot of credit, especially in this school, I feel, and we have a very good staff here.
Mr. Carey?
I'd say role in the community would be, like Grant said, as a good role model. I think be visible, attend activities, not just ones your kids are in, and then be kind of available if people have concerns, that you hear them. As far as administration goes, one thing I really appreciated in my time here was, as Grant said, that there was not micromanagement. They trusted me to do my job that they hired me to do, and I really appreciated that. I do think at times maybe the school board would make decisions based on some of the advice, some of the information that the admin has, so listening to them and working with them with their input. And then as far as collective bargaining, I guess I've been on the other end of that. And as we know, as has been said, we need quality staff, we need quality staff. And to get that, of course, we're gonna have to be willing to make it attractive, make it a position that you would actually want to do.
Mrs. Gross?
Okay, so community, be approachable, listen, be present, go to events, be supportive, make sure that we're listening to kind of all sides, making decisions. For administration, like Grant said, do a good job to hire good administration, be supportive for them when necessary. Obviously, they're the ones who are educated in how to run a school, so be supportive with their advice and recommendations on policies, but also, hold them accountable as well, as that's our job as school board, to hold administration accountable. And then the collective bargaining units, I agree with what's been said. We need teachers, we need, society's changing, we need to be able to negotiate with them and make it appealing to work here and retain staff.
Thank you. Beginning with Mr. Carey. There are 3 mandatory school board trainings plus the Minnesota State School Board Association Conference, which trains members on how to be a good school board member. As a member of the board, how important is it to keep current about state legal issues and to follow MSBA's recommendation for school boards? And lastly, would you attend these workshops?
Yeah, I think it's very important. Couple aspects of the question. It's very important for me to learn. It would be very important for me to learn the kind of the legal side, I guess, is what you're referring to, of the school board requirements. Obviously, I've been in the school for many years, but not in the capacity of a school board member. So yes, I would definitely go to those trainings. I would feel like I need to go to those trainings, take them seriously so that I could do the best job I could and make the best decisions for our school. Yeah, I think it's something that, though I have spent many hours in this school and a lot of my life in this school, that's one of the roles that I don't know a ton about and would need some training on. I would value that.
Mrs. Gross?
Yes, I think it's extremely important to go to these trainings and learn as a new school board member, to learn and to also continue to go annually to stay up to date on the state laws. And I think in order to make decisions that are best for the school and the students and the staff, that you'd have to be informed, and that would be one way to make sure that all the laws and everything are, that I'm aware of them.
Yes, in this job, you never stop learning, that's for sure, and the trainings, the MSBA convention, all of that stuff is a very good thing to attend. MSBA has been a very, very important tool, I believe, for the school boards. A lot of good information comes from them, a lot of good ideas, and it's just a great tool to have at our disposal. MSBA is, and like I said, you never stop learning, so anything you can attend to read about, hear about, or whatever is a great thing.
Beginning with Mrs. Gross. If you were going to prioritize educational programs, which would be your highest priority and why?
So I think that, obviously all areas are extremely important, but if I'm going to choose kind of some of the priorities, I think it's really important to consider like early childhood. Children's brains are developing significantly from 0 to 5, so laying that foundation. Also feel it's very important in education, kindergarten through 3rd grade, the primary grades, that kids are learning to read, and kind of setting the tone to set them up for success, like as they continue through their education. So there should be, maybe some more priority with those grades, making sure that kids are getting what they need. I also think it's a priority, as kids are in high school, that they're being prepared for life and whatever they do decide to do after high school, that they are given the opportunity to be prepared for collegiate courses or trade schools or, that, so yeah.
Mr. Mistic?
Yeah, I could echo Jenna there. I think that early childhood is very important, whether it be early childhood education, early years of elementary. It's a proven fact that if you can get the child off to a good start, they'll excel better all through school. So very early years of school is very, very important in education. I also believe in extracurriculars, as I had mentioned earlier, that's a very good life tool, whether it be speech, baseball, football, all that stuff is a priority of mine also. It's such an extension of the classroom that kids don't get in the classroom. Classroom is the most important, but getting good grades and stuff. And then the diversity of having, like I said, I mentioned earlier, our building trades and different classes, having more choices out there. Sometimes I almost think that maybe we don't teach enough basic stuff to our children. We are mandated by the state to do a certain amount of what we have to do, what they tell us, but sometimes it seems like basic education is kind of lost these days.
Mr. Carey?
Yeah, even though my experience was in the high school, junior and senior level, I taught advanced placement. Those are obviously values of mine. My first grader is reminding me how vitally important the early years are, as both Jenna and Grant have said. And I know we do kind of make that a priority, keep class sizes small there and all that. But also, I guess to not repeat what everybody else has said, but basically, in my experience, I did value the academic side of things on the high school level to make sure there was a certain level of rigor that if kids chose to go on to post-secondary education, they're definitely prepared. I do acknowledge, obviously, that's not for everybody, so the building trades and the other programs that we have, all of those, offering that diverse selection of opportunities for the kids is a value. And yeah, as a coach, former program advisor, extracurriculars are super important too. So Grant and I actually coached together a year or two ago, wasn't it? So yeah, have experience in all of those things, and all of those I think would help keep kids here and graduate as they get older.
Beginning with Mr. Mistic, I know that you have all touched on this, but I think we'd like you to hear you expand on a little bit. Where do extracurricular activities fit into the educational philosophy of Blackduck High School?
Yes, we have touched on that, and again, it's very important in my mind. Not all kids are made out for it, and that's also fine too. I have, some kids, it's, as I mentioned earlier, it's FFA or it's knowledgeable, all of that stuff. There's a certain group of kids that they excel and they want to be a part of that, and it's good for those kids to do other things, to build teamwork, learn to win and lose, learn to be good sports, learn to perform in front of people, learn to perform in front of crowds, all of that stuff that does not get touched on very much in the classroom with no fault of theirs, but it's just an extension, and it's a great life lesson, a great tool, I believe. So,
Mr. Carey?
Yeah, I grew up in athletics. My oldest wants nothing to do with them, so thanks a lot. But no, so yeah, I obviously value the participation in them. I can say that in my time as a coach and a teacher here, having that out of the classroom relationship with students, I think helped strengthen the bond, and really, I do believe, helped me be more effective as a teacher. I see former players in the stands here, and you get to interact in a different way than you do in the classroom. And as Grant said, along with being part of a team, you learn some other skills that aren't maybe native to the classroom. And I think there's a ton of value in that. So yeah, I very much support all the various activities.
Mrs. Gross?
Yeah, I also believe extracurricular activities are extremely important. Obviously, priority is education, but I feel like the extracurricular activities are an extension of the classroom. You know, not to repeat what's been said, but definitely learn skills. Kids are given opportunities to learn those skills kind of outside of the classroom, like Grant said, being a teammate, being a leader. You know, I look at myself, I participated in extracurriculars and definitely used a lot of those skills, helped me get through college and continue to use them in my career. So giving kids those opportunities, I think, is extremely important.
Beginning with Mr. Carey. Each candidate will now be given 2 minutes for a closing statement. Mr. Carey?
Okay. I guess in closing, my years here as a staff member were just priceless in my life, very much valued. This place, this community, was very proud of the time that I spent here, very proud to say that I taught here and was a coach in the many programs I was a part of. And I want to keep it that way, and I want to make sure that the staff, from the classroom staff to all the other support staff that we've already mentioned, have the backing of the board that they need in order to be the best they can be, and keep that reputation, I guess, if I can say, of this being a great place to have your kids go to school. Keep that at the top of its game, and again, keep climbing, keep making it better. So though I'm not in the classroom, in whatever way I can be of use to the community, to the school, I still have a deep value there and a desire to remain a part of it.
Mrs. Gross?
So, you know, being born and raised from Blackduck, very passionate about continuing to make Blackduck a great school and continue to watch my kids and all the other students that go here have opportunity to get a good education. School board plays a critical role in determining the policies that are made for the education for all of our students. Fortunate to live in this community where education is valued and a priority. I do feel like schools are faced with more and more challenges and tough decisions. So if elected as a member of the Blackduck School Board, I will ask in-depth questions about policies and programs so that we as a community can understand and value those as we bring them to the classroom. I will listen to the concerns of the community and work collaboratively with fellow school board members to improve the school. So thank you for the time, and I hope to get your vote on November 5th.
Mr. Mistic?
Yes, this place has been a part of my life now for well over 50 years, and I cherish it. Not only was my own family, my immediate family been through here. I've had a lot of siblings, a lot of family members come through here. I'm proud of where the budget is. I'd like to keep it there. I was fortunate enough to be able to hand 3 of my children their diploma. I'd like to be able to hand a diploma to my 4th child. And to me, whether it be my own child or all the children, that is the goal here. That is the goal, is to get them through. They've been safe. They've been educated to walk at graduation and to get their diploma. That's the greatest feeling in the world. You know, a lot of people cry maybe because it's over. I always say, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. And that's our goal here as a board member, as a school in general, is to get kids to graduate, which you had good success with that. So I hope to get your vote in November. Thank you.
At this time, I would also like to offer this statement from Tim Wurl, who was unable to be here this evening, and I will read this verbatim. Thank you, BEA and the Tri Sigma, for this opportunity. My name is Tim Wurl. I was born and raised just outside of Chicago in Romeoville, Illinois. After living the first 15 years of my life there, I decided to move south with my grandparents to Star City, Arkansas. My freshman class in Illinois was larger than the entire school district in Star City. It was a huge culture shock. I graduated from Star City High School with an art scholarship and art award. I went on to further my education and became certified in the control of power and motion. In October of 1989, I went to work in the industrial field as a mechanical engineer. For the next 30-plus years of my life, I worked with several large companies, keeping them rolling, including Tyson Foods, International Paper, Evergreen Packaging, and Potlatch, just to name a few. My team and I took the last company I worked for from $4 million a year in revenue to $10 million per year in just 6 years. In 2006, I met my wife, Tim Wurl, and we were married in 2008. She gave me 2 sons, Travis and Colin Wurl. Both of them attended the Blackduck schools and are involved in the athletic programs available there. We also have a son from a previous marriage, Jordan Wurl, who is married to Kirby Wurl and has given us 3 beautiful grandchildren, Lincoln, Nolan, and Maisie Wurl. In May of 2022, Crystal and the boys were crazy enough to follow me north to live a dream. The dream has always been to own a resort in northern Minnesota and be a taxidermist during the off-season. We purchased Birch Haven Resort in Tenstrike, and my taxidermy business has been going for almost 40 years at this point. Working with the school board will be something new to me, but a challenge I will gratefully accept. As I'm sure with most organizations, the challenges that we face would be enrollment, funding, and staffing. These topics, along with many others, can most times resolve themselves with the proper staffing in place. My focus would be to attract and recruit the best possible people we could to create a safe, solid learning environment for our kids. A leader is only as good as the team they work with. I feel that my life and business experience will be an asset to the Blackduck School and look forward to the challenge if given the opportunity. Thank you. Signed, Tim Wurl.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kelvig, for moderating for us tonight. And thank you, of course, community members, for taking your time to hear the candidates' views on these important issues facing our community's most vital asset, our school. And a special thank you to our candidates willing to step up and dedicate the countless hours required of our school board members. We hope that everyone will take the information presented tonight and consider the answers provided carefully when voting on November 5th. One final and special thank you to Tri Sigma for sponsoring and providing refreshments tonight. Everyone is invited to have a coffee and bar before heading home. Thank you all for coming tonight, and we hope to see each of you at the polls in November. Sorry. Thank you so much for coming.